Well, hello and welcome back, and thanks for coming back. 2nd of January, beautiful, beautiful day. A really spectacular day indeed. We are just before lunchtime. This video is going to come to you at 6 o'clock Cyprus time. The sun is glistening in that sky. It's still a little bit overcast, but it is glistening behind those clouds. I can only think that it is dipping its head in a salute to Edward, and it's trying to look after Marika, because people who follow the channel understand that we've had a great loss in the family, and unfortunately Marika is not with us at the moment. I can inform you that she has landed in Tbilisi. She went from Larnaca airport to Athens, spent a couple of hours in Athens, and then got another big bird and flew into downtown Tbilisi. The weather on the ground there was around about 3 degrees, so that was not too bad. Bit of a shock to the system obviously, but it wasn't that too bad. Her cousins arrived with a nice big coat to keep her warm, and they also brought a coat for our daughter Ella, because she is holding Marika's hand. Both very, very strong girls, and they've gone to complete a mission, and that mission is to send Edward, who is Marika's mother, Miss Ella's grandfather, and my father-in-law, on his travels, and we wish him a very, very safe trip, that's for sure. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to go for a wiggle and waggle in and around downtown Kato Paphos. I'm going to take you into some streets that you've not been to before, no matter who else's videos you've watched. You've not been there before, so stick with us. Here we go. This is the road that joins the Paphos Mall to the downtown Kato Paphos harbour. To give you our starting point, that is where we are. That is the Zorpas Bakery just in front of us over there. We're going to let all this traffic clear, because as you can see, there's an awful lot of traffic on the road today. Why is that? Well, as I've said, it's the 2nd of January, and of course most places are still closed and most people are still on holiday, and on top of all of that, as you can see, the weather is absolutely spectacular. Little shout out to Sean, who's hopefully sitting down and enjoying his breakfast. The temperature on the Merc is 21 degrees as I gibber and jabber. There we are. And let's say a big hello to all of our superstars out there. And we know it's not the same without Marika. I understand that. I understand that by the end of the week we'll probably be down to 0 subscribers. I understand that. And I understand the views are going to dip, and they're going to dip, and they're going to dip. But Gusivia Laboof, that's Marika, she said to me to carry on. She said to me, get out there and make some videos. Just drive around, chat to the people, laugh and joke with the people. I don't want them to feel sad. And it's a difficult thing to do. There's a tear in my eye. Perhaps you may have, Naomi may have noticed my voice has changed ever so slightly. It's a difficult time, but obviously other people have been through it, and life has to go on. It's that simple. We've been punched straight in the face at the worst time of the year, on New Year's Eve. Unfortunately, Marika's father died, and to make it even more complicated, he wasn't even in his home country. But there we go. What can be said about that? That was never his intent, obviously. It's just made our job, Marika's job in particular, that little bit more difficult, and of course that little bit more expensive. Well, not that little bit more expensive, an awful lot more expensive. But there we go, that's life. It's only money, as I say, and luckily we've got just enough. So, where are we? Well, we're wiggling and waggling to the rear streets of Bar Street, and as you can see, well, obviously it's all closed because, well, it's the 2nd of January, so there's not a lot going on, and of course it is, well, mid-afternoon, so there's not going to be a lot going on. But it's to give you a bearing. Sometimes it's much easier to drive around when everywhere's closed, and of course at the peak time you can't drive around because they actually close all this off with barriers, which is a clever thing, because obviously alcohol, people walking and cars don't mix very well. Tropical Nights just over there. You've got the 7 Club. Well, it was called the 7 Club. It's being refurbed over there. You've got Sally Bryer's The Flyers Bar. That's that one there. You've got the Bubbles Karaoke, and you've got Out of Africa. You've got all sorts of things going on. Notorious. But you know, we have to admit Bar Street is a bit of a dump, but at night time, when it's in the season, it doesn't look too bad. Paphos is going through changing times, shall we say, challenging times. The clientele coming here has changed, and it is changing, and slowly but surely it is going that little bit more upmarket, and we know that from our family members, because I understand every family member that I've met, well, you're certainly a cut above us, shall we say. There's TJ's Fish and Chips, or T&J's Fish and Chips to give it its correct title. Probably the greatest fish and chip shop in downtown Kato Paphos. Now we've joined the Pasodonis Avenue, and we're going to take a right once all this traffic has cleared, and we're going to go back down towards the Promenade area and show you some of the things that are going on. That's the Amara Hotel just over there. You've got the Nest coffee shop, restaurant, cafe, bar just over there on the right, and anyone knows that means they know that across the road is the Annabelle Hotel. You've got a bunch of shops along here. The Why Not Cafe Bar, if you want to watch a bit of football when you're in town, that's where it'll be. You've got Maria's gift shop, coffee shop after coffee shop, Marios Diamonds, always closed, so don't worry if you're bringing your wife. Pamela's Diamonds, always closed, so don't worry if you're bringing your wife. Coffee Island, Starbucks, and if you want to go a bit more at market, you've got Costa Coffee on the left hand side. And there's the La Place La Royale restaurant there, closed down for refurbishments along with the Dionysus Hotel, but we'll keep you abreast as it reopens. We're going to have a sneaky look round and well, wiggle and waggle, as we say. Donna Express on the left hand side, you want a kebab, tea for two if you want a nice breakfast. Look at that, that's the Kato Paphos Promenade. It was pretty busy. Can't go down it because they closed it off wisely, and the intent is to keep it closed except for deliveries, which again is a good idea, because you know, people walking, people not familiar with their surroundings when they come on holiday, and cars again does not mix very well. So we're wiggling and waggling to the rear of the Kato Paphos Promenade, and again there's a lot of developments going on. They're building some apartments on my right hand side. Hopefully they're going to finish these ones off in the near future there as well. People who used to come Paphos many years ago will know that was a fish and chip shop many years ago, closed down about 2012. Papa Antonio Supermarket to give you a bearing. The Leptos Basilica Holiday Resort on the right hand side to give you another bearing. We'll just take a little left down here. This is one of the little escape routes, as I call them, which gets you down to the blue Mediterranean Sea. Forgive the potholes. They are potholes not just from hell, but they've imported them from Mars as well. That's the rear entry to one of the shopping centres there, and then just over there you've got the Paddy Registered Diving School, which is CY Dive. Again, if you want to see all of their facilities, go and hunt in the search bar on YouTube, pop in Marika and me and CY Dive, and boom, up will come a video, and we get a guided tour, and we're having a chat and a monkey around with all the staff in there. So one of the best diving centres in downtown Paphos, that's for sure, and one of the most conveniently located ones, because you haven't actually got to go and hunt it down, and they do take safety very seriously indeed. So we're back onto the Wiggle Waggle Road to the rear of the promenade. Again, we're going to go left, and this is going to bring us out to this little roundabout here. If you go right, you would go up to the Paphos Mall, but we're going to go left to the Paphos Harbour. Again, various shops. Maria hangs out there with those little electric scooters. That's the harbour office, should we say, if you want to rent one of those electric trikes. Nice clothes shop there. Nicholas is in shop today. I can see him counting all his money. This is the croissant and coffee shop, and then that's the harbour cafe restaurant in the very corner there. And then technically this is where the promenade ends, and then that's where the wood kiosk is where the harbour area begins. And of course it all just melds into one. And as you can see, very busy indeed. Balloon sellers are out because they understand that this time of year, well, there's a lot of littlies wandering around with a lot of parents, and perhaps they've got 10 euros in the pocket, and perhaps they would like to buy a balloon. So that's the main entrance to the harbour there. And for anyone who doesn't understand, this road is not for deliveries. This road is access to the back of the restaurants, and it's a big, unmade, but it is a big car park where if you happen to have a car, stolen a car, rented a car, or borrowed a car, should we say, you can drive around here if the main car park's full, and more often than not you will find somewhere to park. But as I'm already noticing, it does seem quite busy. That's Marius's pickup there, the black pickup with the red wheel arches. That's one of the brothers that owns the Girolamo restaurant on the harbour area. And as people who follow the channel understand, that Andreas and Marius and his mum and dad and all of the staff in the Girolamo, we wish them a great new year. They are friends amongst friends, Gumbarus amongst Gumbarus, and they look after us very well indeed. They opened their arms to us right at the very start on a cold and damp March morning when we were strolling along with Mr. Dave Jono. Sorry, he's a Lord now, Lord Dave Jono. And Lord Jono accosted the man on the entrance, Mr. Ryan, the manager, the greatest manager in downtown Kato Paphos. We wish him well, by the way. We wish you a great new year. If you're watching, Ryan, we know you've returned to the UK with your family and your children, and he plans to start some new adventures, and he plans to go off to Dubai and have a great life indeed. And we wish you all the luck in the world. And if you're watching, please drop us a comment, because we do sincerely wish you all the luck in the world. Let us know where you're going to be. And here we are. There's the man himself. There he is. That's the boss man himself of the Girolamo restaurant. That's Andreas and Marius's dad. But we'll just keep going along here because it is getting very busy indeed. And there's a Gumbaru in blue. Doesn't know the width of his car. I was undecided then whether to put the stick down or not, but I actually understood that having the stick on my knee, holding it, technically, according to my lawyer Sabas, as I have had a word with him the other night, and he said, technically, you're not breaking the law. As long as your hand stays on your knee, which it is, you're not breaking the law, because you're not actually holding a mobile phone and you're not actually communicating on the mobile phone. And of course, if they check the mobile phone, they will find that it has never ever made a phone call. Yep, I use a mobile phone to film, but it's a separate mobile phone to my phone, and it has never ever made a phone call except to my phone and my phone to it when I first bought it. So there we go. So hopefully he's right. He says, by the letter of the law, you are not breaking the law. As long as your hand is on your knee and that stick end is on your knee and you are not communicating on the mobile phone, therefore you cannot receive the €300 fine. There we go. That's a bit of trivia, and hopefully a bit of fun and games that you understand that we're always trying to have that little bit of stupidity in our lives. We don't take things much seriously. That's for sure. Anyone who knows us understands that, well, we're only going to live life once, and I intend to live it to the full. So does Oching Receiver LaBouffe. That's Miss Marika. Unfortunately, as you understand, at the moment we are slightly dampened, and I do miss my partner in crime. I really do. Obviously, we've been apart now for a couple of days, and you know what I mean by that. I don't mean we've actually been apart, but because of the shock of her father's death, it does cause a rift, shall we say. We're trying to look after each other, and like I say, tonight, well, I'm alone and she's alone, shall we say. And there's going to be a few nights of that, but we will communicate via WhatsApp and Viber, and hopefully, well, there's no hopefully, I know Miss Ella, our daughter, will take great care of her, and of course all the family in Georgia will look after her. And she's got a job to do, and she will do that job, that's for sure. She's like a little soldier, and nothing will stop her from doing what she wants to do. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like, please click subscribe, and please come back for a little bit more of our madness. There's some people up on the Paphos Skywalk. They've taken my advice, obviously, and they're having a wiggle and a waggle, and they seem to be enjoying what they're seeing. So here we are back at the Paphos Mall. If you take a left, you would go onto Tomb of the Kings Avenue. We're going to go straight, and I'm going to let it fade out, and I'll see you same time, same place tomorrow, and I'd like you to join me. Thanks very much for watching.